It's the second half of the 2025 NASCAR Euro Series season. And, of course, it is the conclusion of regular season before we get into the double points playoffs. We are at Autodrom Most for the NASCAR GP of the Czech Republic. Always a highlight of our calendar. We're expecting fireworks once again in 2025 at this stunning venue.
Hey, Jakub. All good? Guten Tag, bonjour. Ça va?
So then the Autodrom Most has played host to so many amazing moments over the years in the NASCAR Euro Series. Some of them have involved some lost body work because of the tight, twisty, sinuous nature of this circuit. Sometimes the fighting gets a little bit physical. For our reigning champion Vittorio Girelli, he's got some work to do. He's going to have to be laser focused on this event or in this race to move up the order. So then, we are very close to getting these cars lined up. There will, of course, be our traditional parade here at the circuit, as well as grid walk here at the circuit for drivers and teams to reach out to the fans as they walk among the cars. We're getting geared up and ready to go. Exciting times here at Most.
Oh wait, I have the pirate version.
Welcome to one of the most thrilling circuits in all of Europe. Vast straights, brutal corners, and pure horsepower collide right here. This weekend, the roar returns. Only the bravest will conquer most.
I will win because I'm the most skilled driver.
I will win because I am the most prepared.
I'm the most talented driver on the field.
I am the most fearless.
I am Most.
So then, let's see who has the most pace coming into this race. Well, you can see it already. There's the man on pole. The number 11, Gianmarco Ercoli, was our fastest driver in the qualifying session earlier on this morning, and continuing some good form, of course, that he had at Brands Hatch. Really seemed to hit his stride in the season. But what about this on the outside as well? Garrett Lowe on his front row starting debut. It's going to be very interesting to see what he can do from here. He was rather laywayed by a lack of qualifying performance at Brands Hatch, and it seems as if during the summer break he's regrouped and got his eye in here at the Autodrom Most. He did do some running in I think Andre says Skoda Octavia of all things before the weekend. But let's go down to Gianmarco.
Thank you so much, Adam. Gianmarco, pole position, amazing qualifying run. You were so fast compared to the other drivers in Super Pole. I don't think that rain is going to play a big role. Over there it's raining, but not at the track. How do you feel?
So the feeling is good. In the qualifying, the car was really perfect, and I do a really good lap in the qualifying and in Super Pole. So car is good. The feeling too, and now the race is not like the qualifying because it's different. Change too much details, but we stay in the first row, and the goal is win.
All right. Thank you so much. Good luck. Back to you, Adam.
Okay, so Gianmarco Ercoli looking to get another win on the board. Of course, the 2023 Euro NASCAR Pro champion. He wants to try and win that title again in 2025. He's only 6 points back from Vittorio Garelli, the points leader. Vittorio was a little bit more busy than most during the summer break, of course, because as the championship leader after Brands Hatch, he got the opportunity to race in the NASCAR Canada Series at Trois Rivières. There is your points standings. Paul Giffreau third behind the two Italians. Thomas Grassonis, though, tied with him on 194 points. Sebastian Bleekemolen using the consistency to his advantage. He is fifth in the standings ahead of Hazeman, Garrett Lowe, Vladimiros Siotzis, Fabrizio Armetta and Julian Reberg, the latter of whom had some issues with his car and didn't qualify at all, as a matter of fact. And you also saw there Giffreau as the junior trophy leader. Claudio Remeggio Capelli is the Challenger Trophy points leader at the moment. So then just under half an hour until the command is given here at Autodrom Most. The most famous words in motorsport will echo. For now, though, we go down to Garrett.
Dominic Schaak, yes, and Patrick Brendörfer, Garrett Lowe is there. A lot of people around here with Bremotion. Dominic, you will race later in the Open Series. How was the qualifying for you?
Yeah, the qualifying was really good. My performance on this weekend is okay. Yeah, in my qualifying group was of position 4, and the gap to Capelli and Thomas Toffel is not so big. 3/10 is okay, and I hope that I can many win positions in the race and many points. And then it's the end of the regular season, and Nordschleife is my home track, and double points. And yeah, and the championship is long, many races.
All right, thank you so much. Enjoy the grid walk. We have now Patrick Brendörfer before we go to Garrett. P2, his personal best in his rookie season. How happy are you about that?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's you said it's the first season, and it's the fourth weekend with in the real car, and to put the car here in this very strong field in the first row, it's yeah, it's a good story, and we are happy to tell this here. Yeah.
All right, then let's go to Garrett Lowe. Garrett, I need you now. When you take a look over there, there's nobody in front of you when you head into turn 1 for the first time in your Euro NASCAR career. How does it feel like?
It feels really good. It's a nice view. Take a picture and we'll frame that. That's what you always want to see. Obviously, I'd like to see it from the other side of the grid, but man, he had a great lap in qualifying, and I probably could have gotten a little more, but not that much. So yeah, awesome job by the promotion team, and we're going to put this BS Plus promotion on the podium hopefully this afternoon.
All right, good luck, have fun. I think we can still go with a promotion here, because we know well. We have some special guests here. Can you introduce yourself and tell the people, the racing fans out there, what you're doing?
Hello to everybody, my name is Max Koga. I'm a professional mixed martial athlete coming out of Frankfurt, Germany, and as you know, Remotion, this team comes also out of Frankfurt, so this is the reason why I'm here. It's my first time on the racing court and I'm super curious what happened today.
Have you seen already the packed grandstands? Have you feel the car, the thunder of the cars maybe in qualifying, or is it the first time you're going to see the horsepowers firing up in this race?
It is I swear, it's my first time, but it's like an infection. I'm infected by this atmosphere and it will be great. It will be a great race for Remotion, I'm pretty sure.
All right, thank you so much. Enjoyed this. And back to you, Adam.
Well, no one messed with Garrett Lowe this weekend. They've got themselves some extra personnel should they need. There we go. Great to see that kind of Frankfurt connection being put into place there by the Remotion team. Very proud, of course, of their German heritage. The first German team to win in... first German driver to win in NASCAR was with them a couple of years ago, of course, Tobias Dauenhauer, and they've had some great success over their tenure so far in the NASCAR Euro Series. Still a relatively young team. You can see their treaded tyres are on the racks, on the grid. They were given permission, the teams, because of mixed conditions per our race director, to bring tools, to bring tyres, just in case the weather turns while we wait for the engines to be fired. Of course, we had that exact situation at Brands Hatch in June on Saturday in the Open Division race. Everyone was on slicks, but it became evident quite quickly on the formation laps even that slicks were no longer the tyre of choice, and a few brave souls did make that gamble to switch on to wets before rolling. Martin Dubeck.
It's always fun to have him next to me. Martin, home race, second row in Pro. Qualifying went really well also in Open with the pole position. When we take a look over there, a lot of people on the grandstands, on the hills, Autodrom Most again packed for the NASCAR Euro Series. You have a big smile on your face. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a little bit pressure to me. Lots of fans here. I have a family here, my friends, and lots of spectators came. So I see that the grandstand is almost totally full. So it's a pressure to me for the result. But I will do my best for the podium, and I hope that all spectators will enjoy it. So I hope we will meet together on the podium with my fans. It'll be hard in the first corner, first turn, but I think that P3 from the grid should be good there, so let's see what happened there. But I will do my best.
Yesterday you told me turn 1 is the most dangerous turn. It's also the best overtaking opportunity. Gianmarco, Garrett Lowe in front of you. Are you going for it during the start, or are you playing it safe there?
No, for sure safe. I want to be on the podium, so it doesn't matter if I will be first or third, just on the podium. And for sure I want to be safe. It will be safe race, and for sure we want to be on the podium. So no risk.
No risk. All right. Thank you so much. Back to you, Adam.
It's always a risk into this first corner. I don't know. Also a risk. I mean, that is a very black cloud and some very evident curtains of water falling from it. Evident precipitation on the horizon. I know Andre was very optimistic and said it's not going to hit here, but I don't know. That's looking kind of fearsome. We'll have to keep our eyes on what's going on in the skies above here as we get ready for this race. Of course, we're not put off by the rain here in the NASCAR Euro Series. We'll simply switch over to the wet weather Hoosier tyre. We're currently, of course, on the slicks, which also did qualifying earlier. Let's go down to Paul Giffreau.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the weather report with Paul Giffreau. Do you agree with me when we look up in the sky that the rain is moving away? Can we take a look?
It's clearly moving away, and that's a bad news for me. I was really hoping the rain because yesterday we were the fastest guy on wet tire. So yeah, it's like that. But it could have done a really fun race, and but we have to drive with the condition we have, and I'm feeling really confident right now.
How about a turn 1 start We saw a little bit of chaos in the past here at this track. How are you going to approach it?
It's really hard, you know, because the problem are rarely in front, it's at the back, so you have to look at the mirror, but look what your opponent in the front are doing. So this is for sure the toughest start of the season. We prepare ourselves for this type of situation. So yeah, this will be really hard. To be in first row is way more safe than in second row, but the second row is not the worst one. So yeah, we definitely wanted to start P1 or P2, but yeah, we have to deal with it. And as I told you, I'm feeling very confident.
All right, thank you so much. And one more thing about the weather. If this is normal in the open race, it rains. If this is going to be red later in the afternoon, the sun is out. This is my personal rule.
Well, you have to forgive me, Andre, as a British person, if I see clouds and rain, typically it hits wherever I am. So if it is blowing away, that's great news. But typically if I see rain over the horizon, it tends to hit, because that's the British way. There you can see Patrick Schauber, the open class driver in the NASCAR Euro Series RDV competition number 3 entry. And great to see him out and about. Of course, he'll be racing later on this afternoon after that man Paul Giffreau is finished with his driving. Paul's thinking, I'm on camera again, I just got interviewed. But Paul Giffreau getting his head in the game now. Of course, he's on the outside of a row as well, and we were talking to Garrett Lowe earlier on. He is certainly a difficult place there on the outside of row 1. Let's go to Thomas Chrysonis and Anthony Kumpen.
Thank you so much, Thomas. I have to first talk about what happened in qualifying with the 24. Can you give us some insight why Girelli is a little bit further down the grid?
Yeah, we had some brake issues for the whole weekend. Now we changed the whole brake system because we changed the pumps yesterday. We did some other things. So in the end, we didn't find the issue. So we changed the whole system, which is pumps, calipers, all the tubes. And now we will see. Now it should be solved.
All right. Thank you so much. Now I switch to Thomas. Thank you, Anthony. Thomas, it's a decent starting position, but I know you're hungry for more. I know you want to have a shot at wins, pole position and titles. How are you going to approach this race today?
Well, I mean, since Alon is not here, you know, I'm kind of doing my own thing, but if he was here, I'm sure he would say to be smart, not to think like Thomas, but to think like him and to go for the points, not to crash the car. There is no point. We said until the playoffs to score as many top 5s as possible, so this is the plan, especially here because you know how dangerous it is on this circuit. I don't want to ruin the race for anybody. I don't think anybody wants to get the double penalties that they said on the briefing for first lap crashes. So yeah, take it smooth on the first lap, see where we end up, and then push. I think we have the pace to get 2 or 3 positions. So I'm hoping for a podium finish. This is the goal, let's say, for today, and a good qualifying lap for tomorrow.
No pressure. Alon Day ended up 3rd in the ARCA race at Portland, and he's going to race in the Xfinity as well. Anything you want to say to your coach now in the US, because he has a race coming up as well?
Good luck, coach. I hope you win. And yeah, don't crash, you know.
All right. Thank you so much. Back to you, Adam.
I believe that Xfinity race is going to be starting shortly before 2 a.m. local time for Most, so I don't think that Thomas Chrysonis will be watching that one live, but I'm sure he'll catch the highlights on Sunday morning and figure out what kind of text message he needs to send to Alon Day ahead of or after the Xfinity race. I'm sure Alon in turn will be watching along to see how Thomas Chrysonis performs today. It's been great to see Chrysonis really come alive with that continued tutelage from Alon Day, and also, of course, with that move to PK Car Sport for this year, he really has come on strong. Vittorio Girelli and Liam Hazelmans with Andre.
Yeah, 2 for 1 here. Okay. Oh.
What's up, bro?
How's it going? We talked to Anthony. He said that you changed all the brake parts of your car after having some issues there. Not the best starting position, not usual spot for you. What does it do to you?
Yeah, we've been struggling with the brakes all weekend. I didn't manage to do one clean lap throughout all the practices and qualifying. Yeah, I managed to do a lap with no brakes, but I don't know how I did it. But P10 is, could be worse, so we have to look at the positive. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have this young guy in front of me. We have to go in the front, so we will work together to get in the front runners and see where we are and try to have also a good lap time for tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck from that starting position. And now to you, Liam. You're ahead of the championship leader. You have Jack Davidson next to you. The new Jack Davidson. You saw the.
I just wanted to say the transformation he did is quite crazy, quite impressive. So
check social media, your NASCAR Instagram channel for that. In the stories, we have a picture of the old and the new Jack Davidson. But let's talk about you. The car looked decent. Also, you were with your teammate back, Jill Linster, after he had some health issues in Brands Hatch and also in Vallelunga. How's the feeling for you and the team?
The feeling is always good. Just let's say the health part is not too good this time for me, because I had no, it's fine, you can stay here, it's fine. No, just I had a crazy how is it called, intense infection, so that was not too good. But yeah, no, basically I think the car is working very well. Yeah, in the Super Bowl, I don't know what exactly happened, because just the lap time was not there. We thought it was actually pretty good, but it wasn't. But I mean, the car has been good the whole year. We just had sometimes issues like Brands Hatch, the car very fast. So yeah, we'll see now in the race, basically. But I think the car is going very well, so it's up to me to do it.
What was it yesterday with getting got out of the car? They were practicing, but in the end, if it's a serious condition like this, they are there. So practicing is also important for them, right?
No, yeah, it was quite funny, because yesterday I was in. I was actually planning to leave, and then they came to me and they said, "Yeah, can you please just jump in the car?" I know it was a safety issue, so actually they put me in and they simulated if they should need to extract someone of the car. And actually, in the beginning, I needed to laugh a bit, but after I was really impressed of how professional it is, because really the guy told me, okay, you need to try to feel as less pain as possible, try to really feel your back not moving, and it was quite impressive, because I was in the middle of it, but I almost felt like it was a real situation. So no, very happy that I did, and also to see how professional it is, and we're in good hands if in case something happens, so that's already a good thing.
We have a reel of that also on your NASCAR social media channel, so you can watch it, because I was there and filmed it, by the way. And so, last words to say, good luck and have fun.
Thank you, mate.
Back to you, Adam.
Great to hear from Liam Hasemans and Vittorio Garelli. Two contrasting individuals for sure, but very, very quick both. I think Liam will be a little bit disappointed to be as low on the grid as he is, and the same of course applies to Vittorio Garelli after those brake issues mean he starts from 10th on the grid. For Liam Hasemans, he really wants to bounce back, I think, in this second half of the year. We heard it at the top of the broadcast in that VT. He considers himself the most talented driver on the grid, and he's certainly objectively well up there, but we want to see some more of those winning performances to see if he can fight for the championship this year. Has won junior trophy, of course, won Euro NASCAR Open while it was still known as Euro NASCAR 2 all the way back in 2022, and he's looking to move onwards and upwards this year, especially of course with that Retty Jones Racing collaboration for 2025 between himself, Jill Linster, the team over in the United States, and of course Hendricks Motorsport, the technical partner for that number 30 car. Let's go back down to Andre.
Thank you so much. I have a driver here racing in the Open later in the afternoon, Mike Wise. Your car is back there, the pink machine. Yeah. How is it going?
It's pretty cool, man. I'm just trying to get around and rip around this track like a bald eagle.
Like the eagle. What are your expectations and your goals for later?
My goal is finish on the lead lap. I'm being realistic, being my first year in the series and first year racing period. keep all four wheels on the track, have a great time, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the experience.
Maybe can you explain what you did sport-wise also to the racing fans, because I know you're quite popular in a different kind of sports, right?
Yes, I was a sponsored skateboarder for a very long time, and then I broke both my knees. Looked at a more low-impact sport, got into a sport called wake skating. It's like skateboarding on the water, and right now I'm currently #1 in the world. Right after this race, I'm going straight for training for the European Championships. So hopefully that goes well.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck and have fun later in the open race. Mike Weiss, back to you, Adam.
An extreme sports star called Mr. Wise. Interesting. Awesome guy. Clearly has a lot of fun here in the Euro NASCAR paddock, and we will be watching him with keen eyes later on in the open division. But for now, we focus on to this pro race, of course, and what an opportunity lies before Gianmarco Ercoli here. He's yet to win in the pro division at this circuit, so Gianmarco Ercoli wanting to try and break that streak and get himself to the top step of the podium. Only 6 men have won here since 2019. Loris Hazemans, Nicolo Rocca, Sebastian Bleekemolen, Alan Day, Paul Giffreau and Vittorio Garelli. Garelli, the only driver to have won 3 races here at the Autodrom Most. Of course, for Paul Giffreau, I'm sure this circuit means quite a lot to him. It's where he claimed his first win in Euro NASCAR Pro, and he'll be lining up on row 2 today. But the outside line, if it were me on the outside line, it would give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit, because we've seen what can happen with that 2x2 rolling start into the incredibly tight and treacherous first couple of corners of this circuit. It is a fairly narrow and sinuous facility beyond that as well, I would say, but always a circuit that gives us thrills and spills aplenty, and in that regard it's kind of the perfect place to come racing just before the double points playoffs. It throws one last cat among the pigeons before we get into the big end of the season. Of course, we are going to drop the worst score from each driver's season to this point at the conclusion of this weekend, and I think everyone's aim is to make sure that that one drop doesn't happen today, especially if you've already had an off race this season. Let's go back down to Andre.
Thank you so much. I'm here with Rodney, Garrett Lowe's dad. First time he's having a clear view into turn 1 in Euro NASCAR racing. Can you just describe me very quickly how you feel?
We're very excited. I thanked him for the short walk to get to the car, but the whole team, promotion, BS Plus, we're excited for him. He's happy, he's got a great view, and we're excited to get this race going.
All right, thank you so much and enjoy this race. Back to you, Adam.
Great to see that family involvement there down at the BS Plus competition promotion number 99 crew. And there's a lot of that all throughout the grid, of course. Liam Hazemans still very much supported by his father, Twan. Sebastian Bleekemolen's son is now joining us in the world of Euro NASCAR competition as well. We're seeing more and more of that generational impact now across the NASCAR Euro Series, which is really cool to see. Of course, the series is now in its 13th year, so we do get to see now some drivers who are maybe in their first fits of adulthood back then now have families and kids wanting to get involved, and I think that's going to be more and more the case in years to come. Of course, a lot of eyes and a lot of attention will be on that number 7 car on row 2 of the grid. Martin Dubeck, he has the inside line for row 2. Can he hustle his way to the very front of the order? And I must say, I'm sorry, I'm pessimistic about weather. It's my nationality. It's gotten a lot darker since we started this broadcast. A little under 9 minutes until the command is given. Hopefully the wind is still pushing that weather away, but Paul Dufresne has already kind of said, no, I want that rain, I need that rain. He's clearly feeling confident if it does start to shower here, but I'm not convinced that it will be in that position, at least for the start of the race. There are no imminent clouds overhead, but the sun has escaped us. And of course, the other thing to consider here is that the conditions will be cooler on the circuit with this lack of sun hitting the circuit. The temperatures will drop. It will be lower temperatures, I think, than we had this morning during the sunny spells in qualifying. Of course, it is the same set of tyres that they ran in qualifying, and unless we do have that switch to wet tyres at some point, these tyres will last through the 2 pro races that we have today, and of course tomorrow's race as well. So that is going to be a long time to go. Always challenging to manage the tyres. Okay, so I think we've had our anthems already, a fairly brief airing from what I hear, but we are now into those last half dozen minutes or so before the command is given. Of course, Andre needs to do a good amount of steps today. We thank him for his services. I understand that at a hot foot speed he's already made his way now into his commentary position for the race. And well, Andre, firstly, I admire your optimistic approach to being a weatherman. It's certainly gotten darker over the circuit, but hopefully, for some, it stays dry. Of course, Paul Dufresne has said to you, actually, no, I want the rain. The clouds overhead scare me, but I'll go with you on this one. If you're not expecting rain, we'll hope for the best.
Yeah, I took a look into the sky. I did not open a rain radar or something. I just do it old school, looking into the sky, look where the clouds are going, and it looked really good. But I talked also to some drivers and teams off camera, and nobody's expecting rain in the coming hours. So I think we're going to see a race in dry conditions with Garrett Lowe in the front row next to Gianmarco Ercoli. Garrett Lowe with the first front row start of his career. And before I got Rodney, his dad, in front of the camera, he was quite nervous. I think Brimotion in general, they see that there's a chance of maybe the first podium for Garrett Lowe. And you have to remember that he's in his rookie season and he's also during his rookie season in Pro. He never raced an Open. He's gathering some track time in the rookie challenge, and that's it. So a really, really big chance for Garrett Lowe when he survives turn 1.
And of course, he's also looking to the Junior Championship and potentially even the overall championship going into the double points playoffs. He's tied for 6th with Liam Hasemans in the standings at the moment. So he's going to want to get more finishes and points on the board, podium or not. He wants a strong finish. We've seen before people starting from the front row of the grid and taking things carefully. Of course, Thomas Grassonis did that in the Open Division at Valencia and ended up getting himself into all sorts of problems. And that's the thing, isn't it? As perhaps someone who's new to starting on the front row, your instinct, especially going into the first corner, might be, well, I've got to take this carefully and keep the car in one piece. But if everyone behind you doesn't agree with that approach, you're only going to end up in the gravel trap or facing the wrong way or something like that. And so for Garrett Lowe, it's striking that balance, isn't it, between keeping the car in one piece but not driving so conservatively in the early stages that perhaps you end up in unnecessary strife out there on the circuit.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be to manage the risks the right way. Of course, you don't want to overshoot the corner as well when you're having clean air there. The good thing is you can see the markers, you can see the reference points you've worked at during free practice and qualifying. So that's a big plus. All the others behind, they have not the visibility sometimes. Remember the crash we had when Liam Hasemans had a little bit of a problem finding the right braking point. But turn 1 at Most is always a very crucial part of the race, especially at the start. But we've also heard it by Thomas Grassonis that there are going to be harsh penalties if you cause a crash on the opening lap, because it's not only turn 1. Remember last year when Thomas Toffel overshot the corner, he went through the exit and rejoined the track, and then he collided with Sebastian Blekemon, and we had the crash later after turn 2. So there are many things we need to consider in this starting procedure, but there's going to be harsh penalties when somebody messes us up. And I think with the driver's briefing and everybody agreeing that they don't want carnage in the first lap, we hope that it's going to be a disciplined starting procedure here by the drivers. And I think we have the best here in European NASCAR racing, so I'm looking forward to it.
No, exactly right. Getting some word that Thomas Toffel isn't there on the grid, which is a big shame if so, of course. Going back to Race Art Technology to run the number 34 for the remainder of the season. Looks like David Kajaya might also be absent from the grid, unfortunately. So a couple of cars missing, but still a very, very strong grid, particularly at that front end with a few drivers out of position, one might argue. Certainly Vittorio Gorelli will definitely suggest he's out of position, of course, after his braking issues in qualifying. Got some interesting drivers up there as well. Armetta on the third row. I think that's always a wild card when we got Fabrizio up there in the order. The new and improved Jack Davidson. I must admit I hadn't seen that before and after photo until we were talking about it on the grid there, and what an effort he has made. Congratulations, Jack, and a superb effort you've been making over the break. We are within 30 seconds of the Strom watches. Countdown to command dropping to 0, and we are going to
the CEO of robot manufacturer and the owner of Autodrom Most. Josef, let's go for it.
Excellent stuff. So then the words have echoed, and now the engines do the same. 8,000 plus horsepowers echo as one around the grandstands and around the Autodrom Most. It's starting to brighten up again overhead. I don't think we're going to have to worry about rain, but we are going to have to worry about that run to the first corner. Everyone getting through there in orderly fashion. Again, of course, as you alluded to, the drivers, the teams, no one wants their car torn up here in the early stages of the weekend, especially with a view to the open race later on in the day. But it's a difficult circuit. It's a difficult first couple of corners to get right when you approach side by side, 2 by 2 in a big pack of V8 stock. stock cars. This is going to be a really compelling race, I feel, and I'm looking forward immensely to these early stages. Can Garrett Lowe challenge Gianmarco Ercoli for the race lead in the early stages? Something tells me that Garrett will have the confidence to try and make a move early doors here to try and lead the race. Of course, yes, he's new to Euro NASCAR, he's new to the Pro Division, and indeed just new to racing in Europe generally speaking. However, he's shown himself to be very strong on the real world circuits prior to joining us in Euro NASCAR, and of course he has probably decades of sim racing experience to his name as well. And yes, a sim is very different from the real world, but it does instill that confidence, that knowledge, that awareness of what to do in situations like this. So then the cars are rolling. We are on to the formation lap, and it is going to be our 2023 champion, Gianmarco Ercoli, that will lead them. We'll run through the rest of the grid, hopefully, here before the session, or before the race, I should say, gets started. And you can see there Ercoli in the number 11, just waiting for Garrett Lowe to join him on that front row. Martin Dubek and Paul Dufresne on that second row of the grid. Dubek looking, of course, to please his home fans, his fellow Czech competitors and Czech fans. Chrysonis, Armetta, Davidson and Hazemans on row 3 and row 4 of the grid. But it's row 5, of course, where one of the biggest talking points lives, and that is Vittorio Garelli alongside Sebastian Blekemolen on the outside of row number 5. Siortzis and Mikael Makes, who we haven't got a picture of yet, but he's the Stig for now. Let's see if he can move up the order from P12 on the grid, and we'll keep an eye on the rest of the order. Of course, in brief, we'll just quickly run through the rest of the field there. Is it slightly damp there around that section, or is that just the lighting? It certainly looks very, very overcast. Row 7 is Remigio Capelli and Giorgio Maggi. Row 8, Bruno Mulders and Thomas Toffel. David Kajaya and Massimilio Lanza on row 9. Del So and Monti on row 10, and Julian Reberg hopefully there at the back to take the start. Yes, he is. Of course, we are missing Toffel and Kajaya from rows 8 and 9 respectively. So then they are just a couple of corners away from the wheel and start zone. That is when these engines will roar into life in anger for the first time this afternoon. 2 races to bring you today, of course. The Open Division will follow with the same cars, but different drivers largely later on. For now, though, it's the pro battle. Gianmarco Ercoli, second in the championship. He starts from pole position, and it's a golden opportunity for him to do something special and make a big impact, with Vittorio Garelli way down the order in 10th position. The curiosity, the wait, it's almost over. 3 months nearly after our last race in NASCAR Euro Series, we're back with the Pro Division, and it's a good start from Gianmarco Ercoli by the looks of it. As we run down to the first corner, he's later on the brakes than Garrett Lowe. Lowe gets a move there from Martin Dubek. He was a bit too cautious on the brakes, I think, there, and Martin Dubek has taken advantage. It's side by side for 4th place, with Dufresne and Chrysonis. Meanwhile, as everyone shuffles through the first couple of corners, it looks like everybody's got through relatively cleanly, which is our first victory of the day in a roundabout sense, given what we've seen here in the past. Looks like Paul Dufresne has fallen back there a little bit. He's behind Fabrizio Armetta. Hazemans, then Blekemolen, and Garelli is down in 9th position by the looks of it, and Jack Davidson has dropped back to the fringe of the top 10. Everyone making their way through the first corners, and for Gianmarco Ercoli, from the very moment he hit the throttle, that went about as well as it possibly could for our pole sitter.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really good start from Gianmarco Ercoli, and I totally agree that Garrett Lowe played it very safe and therefore lost the position to Martin Dubek. but he's still in third position, but now under pressure by Thomas Krassonis, the Greek in the number 13 car in black and orange. He's trying to make a move onto a podium spot, but Garrett Lowe holds on, defends the third position. Fabrizio Metta then leads the next train of cars, the Italian in the 55 ahead of Jouffroy, and Jouffroy now under attack by Liam Hazemans, the Retta Jones racing driver. He's there on the outside in the last couple of turns, and we have Hazemans in the gravel trap. He loses 1, 2, 3 positions. Bad luck for Liam Hazemans. He loses more and more. Capelli gets also through, and he's now next to the 76 car of Michael Marquez. Really bad luck for Liam Hazemans. He was there on the outside, couldn't hold the car on the tarmac. He went into the gravel trap very briefly, and therefore he's outside of the top 10, I think.
Yeah, way outside of the top 10. Paul Jouffroy goes straight across the gravel on the second lap at turn 1. That's going to cost him some time. He falls back outside, well, not quite outside of the top 10, but to 10th place there behind Giorgio Maggi in at the number 33, so that's costly for Jouffroy. He falls back 3 positions. Hazemans then well outside the top 10, as you alluded to, 13th at the moment, having lost out there to Marquez on the run down to the first corner. There is Bruno Mulders going head-to-head here with Julian Reber. Gregberg goes straight on there. Absolutely no turn in there as he locked up on the brakes. Of course, the tyres under-rotating on the front axle. He couldn't get the car turned in, and that's going to drop him well down the order, unfortunately. We did have both of our drivers who were missing at the start take the start, so both Kajaya and Torfel did take the race start from the pit lane. So they are both running. Looks like Garrett Lowe is just slightly struggling for pace versus the two in front of him, and that means that he's got Krassonis and indeed Fabrizio Armetta right on his tail. Armetta having another good run here, getting better and better in the NASCAR Euro Series for the Club Motorsport. A bit of an underdog team and driver, I feel. But they get better and better each time we see them at the moment, it seems. And they're in 5th place for now. Can Garrett Lowe hold on to this podium? I get the feeling with Krassonis right there behind him, he's going to have to make a very, very wide promotion Camaro to hold on to that 3rd step of the podium.
And he's trying to defend now, but the door is quite open. The door is quite open for Thomas Krassonis. They are side by side in turn 2. Fabrizio Metta also joins the battle right now, but it's a golden opportunity now for Thomas Krassonis. They are still side by side. Garrett Lowe trying to hold on to 3rd position. Let's see who's going to be in an advantage there. Krassonis on the outside. Now he's trying to clear Garrett Lowe, and he makes it stick. Really good maneuver there over more than, I think, 5 corners for Thomas Krassonis, who went side by side with Garrett Lowe. He's now in 4th position, the US American in the 99.
There we go, so Garrett Lowe back another position for the time being. Let's see if he can mount a counter-attack here against Krassonis. I think he might have to worry more about Armetta behind him, to be honest. Armetta looking very racy indeed in that number 55 car. Sebastian Bleekemolen, of course, we alluded to the fact that he's been kind of just whittling away in the championship. He's not challenged the front of the order in any of the individual races, but yet here he is with a significant bid potentially on the championship. He's had 2 top 5 finishes so far this year. He's not won, of course, this year, but he is 5th in the championship and only 28 back, and he'd love to start getting himself some more podium hardware, possibly some race wins to really cement the fact that he is a championship contender going into the double points playoffs. Here though comes Vittorio Garelli, who's snuck his way up to 7th place, and he's got Bleekemolen in his sights. He's looking down the middle here of Bleekemolen and Armetta. He's going to the outside line up against Sebastian Bleekemolen. Is he going to have the inside line for turn 2? Not quite. Wasn't brave enough on the brakes to execute that. It's very hard to do going all the way around the outside there at turn 1. He's going to have to wait that little bit longer. I get the feeling Bleekemolen is hungry for results, but no one is hungrier, I think, than a Vittorio Garelli scorned. He's going to be very disappointed that qualifying didn't work out for him, and any car that is in the way is, well, just that. He is going to bulldoze his way through if he has to get a good result out of this race.
And at the front we still have Ercoli and Dubek, and they are still quite close together, and it's a battle also for the best lap time so far. Dubek had it in 2 laps ago, but then Ercoli had a brilliant lap, 141.840. He's now the one having the provisional pole position for tomorrow, and Dubek is at a 141.969. So it's really close there up front. They are separated by less than 1 second, so the battle for the lead, it's still not over. Ercole has not the win in his pockets already, and we have still 14 laps to go. And Gianmarco Ercole at the moment, yeah, he's way in front of Vittorio Girelli, and this could have big implications also for the playoff bubble that we're going to have, the playoff picture after this race weekend, when we drop the worst result and go into the double point races at Oschersleben and Zolder. This could be an interesting turn in the championship battle between Girelli and Ercole.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. Going into the next round tomorrow, if we have things finishing as they are, it will be Ercole in the lead of the championship. We've had a penalty, 30 seconds, not stopping through the chicane for David Kajaya. So we overshot the chicane and then didn't stop. Just kind of took the shortcut through the tyre barriers, and that's going to be a 30-second penalty for Kajaya. And between that and the fact, of course, that he started from the pit lane, this is going to be a bit of a write-off, unfortunately, this race for the Team Georgia by RDV driver. So Ercole and Dubek are well clear of this battle for third position, 4 seconds up the road. Dubek lost out a little bit to Ercole on the previous lap, and I'm sure Martin Dubek must feel those goosebumps underneath him. There must be such an incredible feeling in that car, knowing that he is at the moment fighting for victory here in front of his home crowd in the Pro Division. Gianmarco Ercole seems to have a slight pace advantage for now, but what about as the race goes on? Martin Dubek seemed to be talking to you, Andre, about his conservative strategy for this race. I don't know if that will hold if he gets closer to Ercole. Jack Davidson, meanwhile, goes past an ailing Vittorio Girelli. Girelli's car was very slow indeed there on the way into the penultimate corner, and the brake issues must have returned because he looked very unsure that that car would stop. And Vittorio Girelli, our championship leader, our defending champion in the NASCAR Euro Series, he is into the pits, and that is going to cost him any chance of a good result here in the first race at Most. A huge blow for PK Carsport and their Italian.
Yeah, this needs to be the drop result. That also means there's a lot of pressure on PK Carsport and Vittorio Girelli tomorrow, because they cannot afford another mistake. If it's the only one in the regular season today, then it's okay, because they can drop this race. But that means on Sunday, Girelli needs to be perfect, and his best lap is a 1:42.137. It's not a perfect lap. There are many drivers with laps within the 141s. Therefore, Girelli, at the moment, if they don't get him out again to at least clock a fast lap, he will not have a really good starting position for tomorrow too. So it's trouble for Vittorio Girelli, Adam.
Yeah, big trouble for Vittorio Girelli. Of course, the fastest laps in this race will form the grid for Sunday's race. Of course, if they can get those brake issues sorted and get the car back out there, he might try and set a fast lap or two on his own, a couple of laps down. But with a brake issue, you really don't want to take too many chances. You don't want to barrel into that first corner and find out that the issues are back again. Thankfully, the car rolling safely back into the pit lane. And as we were watching previously, Jack Davidson, of course, was up there with Vittorio Girelli. It looked like Girelli was starting to fade, but I wasn't necessarily expecting to see him into the pits. It's a big shame that those issues have not yet been rectified. Jack Davidson, though, has done a good job of kind of salvaging this. He dropped back a couple of places earlier on, down to 10th. He's now back up to P7 and ahead, of course, of Paul Dufresne. Incidentally, under investigation was contact between Dufresne and Hasemans. That will have been the gravel excursion that we saw for Hasemans earlier on in the race at the end of the first lap. So keep an eye on that one as well. But Paul Dufresne for now just following in the wheel tracks of that number 21 car of Jack Davidson, the Lux Motorsport entry, looking resplendent as ever in its distinctive pink and blue colours. Ercole at the front of the field, though, in the shiny Illumitech car with the stainless steel wrap on it. He is 1.7 seconds clear now of Martin Dubek, so he continues to build the gap at the front of the order. Chrysonis continues to lead that big train of cars from third back, but how much longer will he claim that? Because Garrett Lowe is retaliating after slipping back a little bit in the early stages of the race. It seems as though Garrett Lowe has found a second wind here, and he is going very quickly indeed. He's going to look to the outside here, going into the penultimate corner. Chrysonis covers the inside line, as you'd expect, going into the penultimate turn, but Garrett Lowe's trying to go all the way around the outside. He's going to stick with it as well through the final corner of the lap. Will Chrysonis give him the racing room he needs? Yes, he does. Gentlemanly driving between both of them, but now Chrysonis has the inside line for the all-important first corner. Garrett Lowe, though, has a nose ahead. Can he get it stopped to try and make that move up into third? No, he's a bit earlier on the brakes there than Chrysonis. He tries to hold on, though, around the outside. He converts it to the inside for turn 2. That was fabulous racing from Garrett Lowe. I honestly thought with the earlier braking into turn 1 that the move was off, but there he is, back into third place. Garrett Lowe with a very, very clever piece of racecraft there, up into third position. Chrysonis down to fourth place, and now Garrett Lowe will be willing on Fabrizio Armetta to keep the driver of the number 13 busy.
Yeah, what an amazing overtaking maneuver there from Garrett Lowe. Really prepared it already in the penultimate lap corner of the, and then executed in turn 1 and turn 2.
So we go under the red bridge once again on this lap of the race. You see there Davidson now on the back of Blake Emolen as well, so within the top half dozen things are still very, very interesting. Armetta there with a huge armful of opposite lock. And Davidson looking to the inside here of Blake Emolen for that 6th position. Can't get it done there. I wonder if he saw that round the outside move from Garrett Lowe previously. He didn't try and go around the outside though, and Paul Giffreau then senses an opportunity as Davidson had to back out of it to have a little look to the inside, but no moves made. Giorgio Maggi closing in now on Giuffreau. These two have had a couple of battles a few years back in the open division, but Giuffreau lunging to the inside of Jack Davidson. Incredible, incredible stuff as we see a big move, and Giuffreau is now unfortunately going to lose that position, I think, because he ran too wide there on the outside of turn 2. Here comes Davidson trying to get to the inside for the next right-hander. He's not going to succeed though. Giuffreau just about holds on to the position, so that is a little bit of drama there, kind of self-inflicted from Giuffreau. He'd got the move done and then he compromised his own run out of turn 2.
And I'm also taking a look at the best lap times at the moment. Liam Hazelmans with a 1:41.310. He had the fastest lap so far, just a little bit faster than Paul Giuffreau. They would be in the front row at the moment for tomorrow's race. Then Ercole. So we had some amazing laps by Hazelmans and Giuffreau during this race while they're battling for positions. And we also have to say that Giorgio Maggi is doing a really good job in the 33 car, inside of the top 10. He had a lot of bad luck this season so far with technical issues on his Ford Mustang with Vitos, but we know how good the team of Luca Lasser is, and it seems like Giorgio Maggi found some more speed, battling again in the top 10. In the past he was always there in the front. Then he moved away from NASCAR for 1 year. This is his comeback year. Of course, he has to readapt a little bit and get into the rhythm with a Euro NASCAR car. And at the moment, he's at least battling with some of the fastest drivers we have here on the grid, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's good to see Giorgio back in Euro NASCAR. I feel it's a style of racing that suits him well, and we're seeing more and more speed from him and Speedhouse as they kind of acclimatise with one another. Of course, the team Blake Emolen and Sebastian Blake Emolen, there's no need for acclimatisation. They They know each other very well indeed, let's say. Sebastian Bleekemolen, of course, running this team, which is now running 3 generations of Bleekemolen across the various divisions of the NASCAR Euro Series, which is really cool to see. Quite a unique situation that we've got there between the Bleekemolen family. You see there Giorgio Maggi with a little bit of damage on the front end of his car, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him particularly much. There is a slight aero benefit, of course, to having that bumper and that splitter in place, but it is fairly meagre compared to, say, a GT car or something of that nature. So then everything seems to have calmed down a little bit in this. Well, I was going to say everything's calmed down, but as soon as I say it, Thomas Chrysonis runs off the circuit, and here comes Fabrizio Armetta then, sensing his opportunity, looking to the outside for the penultimate corner, tries to cut to the inside, but Chrysonis has it covered. Armetta now going to look for a good run out of the final corner, tries to look to the inside at the last turn. That was a wee bit ambitious, I must say. He's going to have the toe, he's going to have the slipstream down towards turn 1, but Chrysonis got the better traction, I would say, out of the corner, and in fact Sebastian Bleekemolen might be on the case now up against Armetta in this battle for 4th, 5th and 6th position. As you can see, we're 7 laps to go here. We've just started lap 11 of 17, 10 laps in the book in this 17-lap motor race. It's been quite the thriller so far. Thomas Chrysonis will feel like his race is helter-skeltered significantly. He got himself up to the podium places, then Garrett Lowe managed to get it back from him, and now he's having to hold on to 4th place for everything he is worth, with Armetta and Bleekemolen keeping him busy, and Paul Giffreau is going to be a factor, I suspect, before long as well.
Yeah, I think Chrysonis is now Garrett Lowe's best friend, because as long as he's holding off Armetta, Bleekemolen, Giffreau and the others, Garrett Lowe is on his way to his first podium in the NASCAR Euro Series Pro Division. By the way, Vittorio Ghirelli is back on track, and he set the 3rd fastest time. So he's trying to get a good starting position for tomorrow's race. And now 141.133, the fastest lap in this race by Vittorio Ghirelli. He's on provisional pole position, being 21st in the race, but he's out there to post the fastest lap, and at the moment he succeeds. Also, Julian Rehberg, he was 16th at the beginning of the race, then he dropped down to 18th, now he's back into 15th. So we have to keep an eye on Julian Rehberg, Adam, because he may be the biggest mover in the race compared to his starting position, and therefore maybe there are 4 bonus points waiting for Julian Rehberg.
Possibly so. We'll keep an eye on that situation as it develops. Gianmarco Ercoli is your race leader, though, with an ever-extending gap. He's been gradually easing away from Martin Dubek. It was 0.7 after just a few laps of the race. It's now almost 3 seconds that Gianmarco Ercoli holds over Martin Dubek. Garrett Lowe there in 3rd position. Thomas Chrysonis, of course, still there in 4th, holding on by a thread. But Ercoli has really controlled this one for Illumatech Racing in that number 11 Ford Mustang. Of course, that partnership with Illumatech Racing, the Canadian team, receiving support from, of course, Cal Racing, the long-standing team of Gianmarco Ercoli, and that collaboration paid dividends for the first time at Brands Hatch. The first wins registered by the Ercoli and Cal Racing combination. And we're seeing them again running at the front of the order. After Vallelunga, it just seemed that Ercoli found another bounce in his step, a little more pace, a little more potential in that car. And it feels like it's 2023 all over again. Ercoli finding that edge, finding more and more momentum, and if things finish as they are, well, he is going to be our new championship leader. Vittorio Ghirelli down in 21st place. He can set fastest laps all he wants, but that championship lead is going to fall by the wayside going into the 8th round of the season, of course, with the drop scores to consider going into the double points playoffs. That might all change coming out of round 8 of the season, but that's the situation for now. Here comes Sebastian Bleekemolen. He's trying to get back past Paul Giffreau, isn't he? Because I think Giffreau's gotten around him somewhere, and now he's trying to fight back, but Sebastian Bleekemolen has to yield for the time being. Giffreau got past on the previous lap. As so the Frenchman is there to stay unless the driver of the number 69 can mount a recovery. It's certainly racy, but nothing as of yet. That door not going to open very easily as long as Paul Giffreau is the bouncer.
You know, Adam, I know that there's something like a commentator's curse, but what I like about this race so far, it was pretty clean. We had intense battles, but everything really clean and fair. It's really good stock car racing that we see out there at the Autodrom Most, with a nice battle now between Paul Giffreau and Sebastian Blekemolen, the Dutch driver in the 69 car. And then we have also Jack Davidson there. He made a big move, a big step forward in the 2025 season with Lux Motorsport. Remember, last year, the first win of a British NASCAR driver at Brands Hatch in the open division. He stepped up to pro, and he's there in the top 5, in the top 10, in the top 5 with the Lux machine, with the pink car, 21 car that we have here. So for me, Jack Davidson, not only how he got in shape over the summer, but also the performance of the team and the driver behind the wheel, I have to say one of the best surprises we had so far.
Yeah, of course, only the second season for the Lux Motorsport team as well. In his first year back in 2023, he was running with Marco Stipp Motorsport and took the reins himself for 2024 along with his family, and that small operation doing big things here in the NASCAR Euro Series. Of course, the big teams have that edge of sheer force, potentially a little bit of budget advantage as well, but with these Euro NASCAR cars, can be competitive if you have the know-how with a relatively small team. Here comes Sebastian Blekemolen again, charging up against Paul Giffreau. A bit of a lock-up there from up ahead. I think that was Chrysonis just giving us a puff of smoke there into that left-hander. So many corners here, of course, at this track. If I remember rightly, it's 21 of them packed in to this fairly short circuit, and it is a very technical track. You're always seesawing at the wheel here at Autodrom Most. And look at Chrysonis. He is definitely coming under threat from Fabrizio Armetta. Armetta senses an opportunity to move up into 4th place here. That would mean a lot, of course, to him and the Club Motorsport to again be up there in the top 5, to claim some successful scalps like Chrysonis and PK Carsport. And Armetta certainly keeping Chrysonis busy and keeping his eyes on the mirrors for now. We're running out of time, of course. We're going to be starting lap 15 this time by. But let's keep an eye on the number 55. I get the feeling that there's going to be a lunge at some point before the end of this race.
I have to say that Liam Haseman pitted. He entered the pits and therefore loses a lot of positions. The number 30 not on the track anymore, and also Pirelli pitted again. But that strategy, he posted the fastest lap. He knows he has a good starting position for tomorrow. Now he's saving those Hoosier tires, of course. But with Liam Haseman in the pits, there must be something wrong, mechanical issue maybe. We didn't have it on screen, but the 30 car entered the pits, and therefore Haseman's only in 16th at the moment. While we have still this battle between Armetta and Chrysonis, and still Garrett Lowe taking advantage of this battle because he's now comfortably in this 3rd position, and it's looking really good for Garrett Lowe to score this first podium. Adam, you know, 3 laps to go. It's almost time for me to head down to victory lane to welcome the race winner. Let's see who it's going to be. It looks like Ercole, but you never know. 3 laps to go.
Never quite know in the NASCAR Euro Series. Another twist in the tail might be forthcoming, but we'll let Andre run down there now to victory lane when he will present the winning sticker, and we'll get immediate reaction from whoever does join us in victory lane. Certainly Ercole looking like the hot favourite at the moment, 3.5 seconds clear of local hero Martin Dubek. Garrett Lowe also fairly secure there in 3rd position. We've had a moment there. One driver facing the wrong way. Can't quite tell. Is that Massimilio Lanza potentially? No, it's the 64 of Vladimiros Tsiotsis, who's been collided with there. Didn't quite catch who the other party in that was. Was it Julian Ribberg? Because they were close together last time across the start-finish line. I think it may well have been, but either way, thankfully he gets himself out of the gravel without the need for an extraction. So Tsiotsis will continue on, but he will be very disappointed with the fact that he's dropped back down there. Tsiotsis has had some fairly disappointing luck in recent times, and that streak of misfortune continues, unfortunately, for the speedy Cypriot driver. I think we saw a slippery surface flag there at the back of shot as well, which is certainly quite compelling. Is there some fluid of some description down? Hopefully it's not water, hopefully it's not rain, but maybe someone's just leaked a little something onto the circuit in some capacity. Meanwhile, we follow on with the Chrysonis-Armetta battle, which continues at pace, and Armetta not relenting at all up against the Greek racer. He's been putting in a good performance here. Certainly it feels like that move to PK Car Sport, that move to get coaching from the most successful driver in terms of championship wins, Alan Day, in the NASCAR Euro Series. That's kind of been his secret sauce this year. However, still driving very, very well, even without Alan Day in his ear, and holding on to that 4th position for the time being. Now, I am seeing slippery surface flags around the circuit, and I am also seeing Garrett Lowe backing off a little bit. I just wonder if it is quite slippery out there. Not sure why, but potentially there is a little bit of fluid down somewhere. We start the final lap of the race then, and Erkeli 5 seconds clear at the front of the field. This has been a dominant drive from the number 11. He's 5 clear of Dubek, who in turn is about 5 seconds ahead of Garrett Lowe. Thomas Chrysonis could only imagine having a 5-second deficit over Fabrizio Armetta in the number 55 for now, and Paul Duffreau has been closing in on them as well. He's not going to get there, he's not going to be able to salvage a top 5 out of this, but it has been evident that his pace has been good, just unfortunately lost some time in the early stages of the race, and that's cost him dearly. With this race win, should he get to the start-finish line once more, it will be career win number 13 for Gianmarco Erkeli, which will move him into an undisputed 3rd place in the all-time wins list. He's currently tied on 12 with Frederic Gabillon, but he will move up to number 13 in just a couple of corners' time, and with it, of course, he will be taking the championship lead on a provisional basis going into Sunday here at the Autodrom Most. It's a huge Saturday for Illumitech Racing, for Cal Racing, the technical partners, but most of all for this man, Gianmarco Erkeli, in the number 11 car. He will see the checkered flag, and he will be our winner in round 7 of the NASCAR Euro Series Pro Division in 2025. Martin Dubek claims a well-deserved 2nd place in front of his home fans. Garrett Lowe takes 3rd. Chrysonis holds on to 4th place ahead of Armetta, Duffreau, Blake Amolan, Jack Davidson, Giorgio Maggi, and it will be Bruno Mulders that looks to round out the overall top 10 for Team Blake Amolan, meaning that the Dutch team has 2 cars in the overall top 10. What a drive for Gianmarco Erkeli, with his pole position earlier on, a really strong qualifying as Paul Duffreau goes flying past the winning cars there. But with that qualifying earlier on, you just got the feeling Erkeli was in something of a different league. He was almost 0.6 of a second clear of Garrett Lowe in 2nd going into today's race. And that has definitely translated to race pace as well. It's not always the case that a good qualifier will have a car underneath him that will do the full race comfortably, but Gianmarco Erkeli certainly gave us one of the most dominant race performances of the season so far. It's not often you can break away to that extent in Euro NASCAR. Certainly Vittorio Gorelli has made a habit of doing so in recent memory, but Gianmarco Erkeli proving that he can do it too. And it's yet another win for Ercole in this season. Win number 3 of the year. That makes him the driver with the most victories so far this season in the NASCAR Euro Series. There is the result. Dubek second, as we said. Garrett Lowe managing a good race there for promotion, getting his first podium in the NASCAR Euro Series Pro Division. Congratulations to Garrett. Thomas Grassonis in 4th, Fabrizio Armetta in 5th place, Paul Giffreau in 6th, Sebastian Blakemolen in 7th, Jack Davidson in 8th place, Giorgio Maggi and Bruno Mulders bringing us down to 10th position. The rest of the order was 11th place for Mikael Marquez on his first appearance with us. Claudio Remeggio Capelli in 12th place, and he also wins in Challenger Trophy. Julian Reberg in 13th place, then Ulis Del So, Vladimiros Tsiotsis after that late tangle in 15th, Massimilio Lanza in 16th, Federico Monti in 17th place, and then Toffel, Hazemans, Kajaya and Garelli were all withdrawn to the pits by the end of that race. In the Junior Trophy, of course, it's a win for Garrett Lowe. So Garrett Lowe with a very good day at the office, first overall podium and a win in Junior Trophy for the BS Plus competition-backed number 99 promotion car. And that transition from being a NASCAR star to a Euro NASCAR star continues to flourish, and he continues to succeed. Gianmarco Ercole, I think it's fair to say he had a difficult 2024. He didn't seem like the same Gianmarco Ercole who had won the championship in 2023, but in the last couple of rounds of the season here in 2025, it really seems as though the spark is back for Gianmarco Ercole. Everything working perfectly for the number 11 driver. His team greet him in victory lane, and for the 3rd time this season, we are going to welcome Gianmarco to the top step of the podium. Let's see then, are we going to climb to the roof of the car? It's gone wrong elsewhere in NASCAR recently. Looks like he's just going to stay on the window, possibly for the best. Gianmarco Ercole with a race victory. Win number 13 means he is now undisputed as 3rd all-time in the list of Euro NASCAR winners. Of course, he's been a part of this paddock now for a decade. We know him very, very well indeed. We've seen Jimmy Ercole grow into this incredible driver, this champion across both our Open and our Pro divisions. And he's now back into the championship lead, what he will consider his rightful place in that Illumitech Ford Mustang. Andre Viegold will be there to chat to him in the next couple of moments. We'll get the cameramen down there and have a chat with our 3rd time this season race winner in the NASCAR Euro Series. And in fact, that is 3 on the bounce, isn't it, for him? Because it was both Brands Hatch races that he won, if memory is serving me correctly. But either way, he is having a great season, and he is now at the top of the tree. Going into round 8 of the year, he'll be looking for a strong performance to round out regular season on Sunday, of course, before the double points playoffs kick in. Let's go to our winner.
Yeah, Gianmarco Ercole, winner of the Pro Race, 3 wins now in a row, and you're back in the title battle. Girelli had issues, but he posted what I saw, one of the fastest laps, so for tomorrow he has a really good starting position. But talk me through the race and also the emotions you're going through right now.
So, an incredible emotion here, because starting the first row is my first time here. This track don't arrive never for me a good result, and I stay too much focus all the summer break. It's incredible job of the team because the car is perfect. Only a little bit problems in the end of the race, but I'm incredible happy for the result and for the position of tomorrow.
Then you know what's time now. We have here the winner sticker, the 3rd one on your car. Gianmarco Ercole.
3 victories in a row for Gianmarco Ercoli after a triumphant run at Brands Hatch. And his first ever win here at Autodrom Most as well. It's one thing to do it at Brands Hatch where he's always been magnificently strong, but to come here and win for the first time at Autodrom Most is a special achievement. Yes, I am covering slightly for the fact that he's struggling with the sticker, but if this is the hardest thing that he does today, then clearly it's been a successful Saturday in the NASCAR Euro Series. I don't think his fingernails are quite long enough for that sticker job, but again, Jimmy, if that's the worst thing that happens to you today, you've had a solid day in a race car. Everyone in the team will be congratulating him, and Martin Dubek does as well, Andre.
Martin, goal reached. You wanted to be on the podium. You did it. At the beginning, you could keep up with him. At some point, was it a strategical move to keep a little bit more life in the tires, or was he just that fast?
No, he was too fast, so I saw that, so I want to manage the tires, so I wanted to be podium, so I drive for safe, and he was too fast, so it was a strategy to save the tires for tomorrow. I think that I managed it, so I have really nice tires for tomorrow, but the problem that I don't have a fast time for tomorrow for the grid, so I don't know where I will start, but yeah, we have the podium, so I'm happy, and next race I hope that I will be on the victory lane.
Yeah, you're doing also the open race later on, double duty, a lot of work. Physical, everything's fine there still with you doing all the races all weekend long?
No, I'm fucking tired, but I will be for sure after the second race, but all good.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations, Martin Dubek. Back to you, Adam.
My apologies for the unfiltered approach that Martin Dubek took there to that last answer. But in the heat of the moment, of course, it's all rushing out of him for now. He will be back in the car, as Andre alluded to, for that open division race later on. And very interesting that he was talking there about that win. He's yet to win in the Euro NASCAR Pro Division. He's been doing this double duty, double dipping for quite a long time, yet he has not claimed a victory yet in Pro. He's certainly got the pace. He proved it again today. Let's see if he can go one better. Wouldn't it be sweet to win the first race on home turf? Garrett Lowe with his first podium.
Yeah, Garrett, first time on the overall podium in a NASCAR race. You had the front row start. You even had to battle for the third place. Get the position back against Tomas Krasonis, a race winner in this series. How happy are you?
Yeah, really happy. I mean, we had a slow weekend to start in the wet. We only had 8 laps of dry practice before we qualified. So I can't thank the promotion and BS Plus competition team enough for helping us get here. We did struggle the last couple weekends, but we bounced back. Did a little testing, learned a little bit, and come back and finally on the podium.
I've heard you've tried this track in a normal street car. It was a Skoda Octavia, I think, right?
I did. I had a good friend hook us up there. Big shout out to Eddie and Pete for helping get me some track time. Just something to familiarize myself with these tracks that I've never been to, never seen. And yeah, so that helped a lot.
All right, enjoy this podium ceremony. Thank you so much. Back to you, Adam.
Great to see there, Garrett Lowe kind of drinking in the moment there of getting his first podium here in the NASCAR Euro Series. I'm sure this could be the first of many, and he'll want it to be, of course, going into the summer, getting himself more and more acquainted with the sharp end to maybe just win that junior trophy, but he's going to have to compete a lot of people, including Thomas Krasonis.
Yeah, Thomas, it was a tough race with a lot of battles. Let me start with the positives. Do you have fun?
No, not so much this race, because yeah, I had fun. I have to say congratulations to Garrett, because he did a very good job, especially starting in front, and with his recovery we had a very nice battle. For some reason my car started to get hot very fast from lap 3. So when he arrived, after I passed him, when he came back to make his move, I said, okay, I will try to defend. If he passes, that's it. If I keep the position, we see what we will do. But it felt sketchy, you know, going over and over, you know, lap after lap. I was trying to hit his brake marks, and then the car immediately was locking. It was a little bit difficult. I got also very tired from the heat, but anyway, All in all, good points, very good points. That's the important thing. We are here for the championship. Either way, we aim to be quick in Germany and Zolder. Here, we just want to survive. So, yeah, thank you to my sponsors, Costa Mare Shipping, Dodoni. Thank you to my coach, driving coach Alon Day, normal coach Paul Tibas, and to my friends and family for their support. So, yeah, that's it. We have another one now. I need to rest a little bit. Yeah, so hopefully see you victory lane in the Open.
I'm really liking that we had a lot of interviews already. I don't have to ask the questions. You already know the answers. Thank you so much. Congratulations for a good result. Back to you, Adam.
And he doesn't even have to look down at the race suit to see his various partners as well. He knows it all off by heart. Tomas Krassonis becoming a consummate professional both behind the wheel and in his media responsibilities as well. We've been seeing him grow for a while, but this year has been the real sprouting point for Tomas Krassonis. The fans are gathered, of course, around Victory Lane to see the podiums unfold. Not just, of course, the overall podium, but also the Junior Trophy, the Challenger Trophy podiums also. And a lot of them, of course, will be getting ready to give a hearty cheer to Martin Dubek, who gets so much interest and so much excitement thrown his way when we're here at Most, when we're in the Czech Republic. And the fans clapping there and getting themselves ready for the podium. I'm not sure if we actually have the podium on already. Perhaps we do, because there is a lot of applause going on. Yes, Garrett Lowe onto the third step already. And Martin Dubek joins him on step number 2. Your winner, though, Gianmarco Ercli, with a dominant drive. And he's the only driver this year to have 3 wins under his belt. Can he do it again on Sunday? Congratulations to Gianmarco once again. Always, of course, incredible to hear your national anthem stood there on the top step of the podium. It's something that Gianmarco has experienced on 12 previous occasions here in the NASCAR Euro Series. Our Grand Marshal, Josef Zajišek, the CEO of Autodrom Most, I believe that is, presenting the trophies. He was also our Grand Marshal, of course, earlier on. Martin Dubek receives his second place trophy, and your winner, of course, getting the biggest trophy of all, that is Gianmarco Ercli. Up onto the top step they go then to take the pictures together and celebrate their achievement.
One more time, many congratulations to the top 3 drivers. And now, guys, let's have some champagne!
And here comes a spray of the bubbly. Let's not get the race suit too wet for poor Martin, though, because he needs it later on. No sipping, Martin. The top 3 celebrate. Oh, a little sip. It'll be fine. So then, the top 3 celebrating in the overall categorization. Of course, we're not done yet with Junior Trophy, or we're not done with Garrett Lowe yet, because he will be on the top step of the Junior Trophy podium. That lift ride on the main tribune looks pretty scary to me. I've been watching that thing go up and down the crane with what looks like a shark tank around it. Not sure about that myself, but that's because I'm a bit afraid of heights. So then Junior Trophy will be our next presentation. Of course, if you're unfamiliar, that's drivers under 25 years old. Thomas Chrysonis has been with us now for 6 seasons, and I think this is finally his last year of being a junior trophy driver. Presentation on the podium ongoing then. Dufresne already on the 3rd step there. Thomas Chrysonis joins him. And here comes Garrett Lowe to stand on the top step in Junior Trophy. A great result for Garrett and the BS Plus competition crew. You can see the fans there watching on as well, staying on for the other presentations after the hero of the day, Martin Dubeck, has had his moment, which is good to see. Will receive the 3rd place trophy, has already, I think, received his 3rd place trophy. Thomas Chrysonis on the 2nd step, of course, has received his, and now Garrett Lowe will receive his 2nd piece of silverware of this presentation, a winner's trophy in the junior classification. Trophy drivers exit stage right then. Stage right on screen, stage left for them. And it will be Challenger Trophy up next for amateur drivers competing within the Euro NASCAR Pro Division. And as we said when we were going down the order earlier on, it was Claudio Remigio Capelli who took the win there. He'll be joined on this podium by Federico Monti and Max Lanza, making it an all-Italian top 3 in that division. Federico to the 3rd step. This is a cool little drop-down view that we've got here. 2nd step going to Massimilio Lanza. Your winner, Claudio Remigio Capelli in the number 5 car from Alex Caffey Academy Motorsport. He will be on the top. Oh. There he is. He seemed unsure, but no, you are the winner. So then Monti, Lanza and Capelli on this podium. Claudio will hold his trophy aloft, and everyone will get up on that podium together now to celebrate for our final ceremony of this broadcast. But of course, we're going to be back in not very long at all with the Euro NASCAR Open race in just over 2 hours' time. We'll be bringing you that broadcast from the Euro NASCAR Open division with their 7th round of the season. You'll see the likes of Claudio Capelli, Thomas Chrysonis, Martin Dubeck out there again up against the best and brightest of the Euro NASCAR Open division as well. We look forward to bringing you that action. It will be the home driver Martin Dubeck starting that one from pole position. Can he convert it into what would be a very popular race victory? Make sure you join us from 5:25 local time to find that one out. We are looking forward to talking about that one. But for now, let's take a look back to the race that was in the Pro Division. Some highlights of round number 7. So then the race got started with a brilliant launch, it must be said, for Gianmarco Ercoli. He was later on the brakes and he was very quick out of the wheel and start zone as well. That was executed to perfection for Jan-Marco Ercoli. Martin Dubek snuck through into second place as well, and at least in the early stages he would be holding on to Jan-Marco Ercoli. Some dust kicked up through the first couple of corners, but by and large it was a fairly smooth run through turns 1 and 2 by Autodrom Most standards. Ercoli was first. Second place, as we said, was Dubek, and we had that moment there coming out of the penultimate corner between Paul Giffreau and Liam Hasemans, which unfortunately cost Hasemans a lot of time, and he would ultimately be a non-finish after an issue later in the race. Also a non-finish, Vittorio Garelli. Brake issues seemingly re-emerging on that number 24 car, but he would make an appearance back out on the circuit later and set what would be the fastest lap of the race. That nets him pole position for race 2 tomorrow here, round 8 of the season. And he'll need that pole position to try and get some points back after the disappointment of Saturday here in the Euro NASCAR Pro Race. Side-by-side action. Around the outside went Garrett Lowe, trying to reclaim the third position he'd lost to Thomas Crasonis. They'd remain side-by-side across the line and into the braking zone at turn number 1. Garrett Lowe would be a little bit earlier on the brakes than Crasonis, but he carried the momentum nicely around the outside at turn 1, converted it to the inside for turn number 2, and certainly move of the race there from Garrett Lowe for that third place. Giffreau got to the inside of Jack Davidson with a nice lunge to the inside as he tried to circumnavigate his way back towards the top half dozen. And with that little kick up of dust there showing just how much he was pushing, he almost lost to Jack Davidson once again coming out of the corner, but thankfully managed to recover that well. Julian Ribberg and Vladimir Siortsis, a couple of laps from home, made contact, and unfortunately Siortsis was the party that got the worst of it. He did, however, get back out of the gravel and finish in 15th place. Meanwhile, with his 13th win in Euro NASCAR Pro, his first win here at Autodrom Most in the Pro Division, it was Jan-Marco Ercoli who claimed not just P1, but also the championship lead provisionally. Jan-Marco Ercoli has assumed the top of the standings for the first time this year. Let's see what happens going forward with our 8th round, our final round of regular season tomorrow for the Pro Division. But we've still got more to come here today in Euro NASCAR here at Autodrom Most at 17:25 local time. As we've told you, it will be the Open Division with their first race of the weekend before we get into it once again on Sunday. Make sure you join us in about 2 hours and 10 minutes for more from the NASCAR Euro Series here in the Czech Republic.